Annaman Peno. Then stay go or make click it. Nari.
Good morning, Bhante.
Good morning.
Hello, Bhante.
Yes.
Eh,
Chaturi, are there any questions?
Yes, there's a question from last time. I don't know if you addressed it already, but I'll just, I saved it. It's not in the chat. The question is about the jhana and entering the jhana without using a nimitta, the sign of concentration. How do you know for sure you're in a jhana stage? Well, first of all, if you don't have a nimitta, how do you know you're in a jhana? Do you need a nimitta?
You know you are in jhana when your hindrances are all subsided and jhanic factors are active, then you know that you are in jhana. I think all meditators know hindrances, kama, chanda, vyabhad, thina-vidya, uddhata, kukucha, vichikicha, desire desire, resentment, restlessness and worry, sleepiness and drowsiness, and doubt. These are the 5 hindrances. When there is no desire, the mind is ready to let go. That's called vitakka. Vitakka means nekkama vitakka. Nekkama vitakka means the thought of letting go. Whatever arises, the meditator in that state doesn't hold on to it. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And then if resentment arises, resentment cannot arise because the person starts with the thought of metta, loving friendliness. That is avyapada vitakka. Avyapada means loving friendliness, not hatred. As soon as metta arises, resentment vanishes. So now you have letting go, thought of letting go, thought of metta, and then vichara. Vichara means sustaining all these things, all these 2 states of mind, letting go, metta. You maintain it all the time, support it. Then vitakka, vichara, piti. You know that when there are hindrances, each of them is gone, your mind will be full of joy. Then piti, sukha, that joy leads to happiness. And happiness leads to concentration. Sukhino chittang samadhiti, Buddha said. When the mind is full of happiness, I want to remind people that this happiness is not excitement. Like ordinarily when you say you are happy, you will laugh, kiss, sing, jump up and down. You are excited. This happiness is just the opposite of it, making the mind calm, because this is a spiritual happiness. Niramisa sukha. Niramisa sukha. When you jump up and down, that is samisa sukha. That is connected with sensual pleasure. This is not connected with sensual pleasure, but connected with letting go of sensual pleasure. Peace, peace. And that time you gain good concentration. You know then that you are in jhanic state. Okay?
Next question, the next part of the question is, when you are in the jhanic state, are you supposed to focus more on mental visions or lights, or are you supposed to focus on physical sensation?
This is, Buddha said this is a physical sensation. He gave a simile of a bath powder. When you put bath powder in the bathtub and slowly pour water and stir it, and then it will dilute and assimilate, mix with water, and then finally you don't see any lumps or bubbles separate from the water, all mixed. Similarly, that time the body is totally merged with happiness. This is more physical than mental at that time because your physical aches and pains are gone. You are in a very relaxed state. There you experience physical peace and joy and happiness.
Thank you, Bhante. I also had a question about this of using jhana in conjunction with insight. Is it better to springboard into insight when you have access, concentration, or go from access directly into the full absorption of the first jhana? And when you come out of the first jhana, when the mind has already been immersed in the bliss and the peace of the first jhana, then you go into insight. Which one is better?
Now, going from access concentration into mindfulness, vipassana is not very strong, but you can. But it takes a longer time to develop your mindfulness. But if you do it with the full concentration, you see the subtlest changes taking place in jhanic factors. When you gain jhana, you use jhanic factors to focus your mind on impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness of jhanic factors. Without full jhana, you don't have all the jhanic factors. And therefore, I think this access concentration technique is later development. That's called, but the real original discourses, we see you only when you attain full jhana, you can focus your mind on the jhanic factor, impermanence of jhanic factors. As you all know, you cannot practice vipassana meditation if you ignore impermanence. Impermanence, seeing impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness is the main theme of vipassana meditation. And that you can do when you have full concentration. That is why Buddha said many, many times, Samahitam Chittang Yatha Bhutam Pajanati. Samahitam Chittang. Concentrated mind sees things as they really are. As they really are means as they really are happening. Are as they really are. That means they are happening all the time. Nothing stopped, nothing static. They all are happening. Action, verbs. There you don't see the noun. You see only verb, which is always in motion. And therefore, you have to gain full concentration, at least first jhanic concentration, to switch on to vipassana practice. And this is called samatha pubbangama vipassana. That is concentration followed by mindfulness, or mindfulness preceded by concentration. So this is very clear in the Buddha's teaching in Discourse Sutras. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is having wishes prior to meditation by saying mentally, may I have no hindrances and eliminate fetters in this sitting. Does this contribute to some form of aversion? Because you're wishing to not have something. So is this some kind of aversion?
Aversion, your may I have no hindrances and eliminate fetters in this sitting contributes to dosa, aversion. I don't think you will introduce dosa or aversion to your mind and then destroy it. What you should do is only when it arises on its own. When it arises on its own, then you focus on that and see the impact upon you of its power, of its strength, that make you uncomfortable, painful. Seeing this impact, the power, the strength of anger, resentment, you learn not to sustain it, maintain it, support it. You learn to let it go and arouse your metta. So even if you say, may aversion not arise in me, that you may trigger the sense of aversion. Don't do that. Only if it arises, you deal with it. Not before, nor after. Not before that, but after, yes.
Thank you. The next question you already answered is a question how to know if one is experiencing nirjanas. You already explained at the beginning of the session, so perhaps we can move to the next one. How to practice mindfulness of death.
How to practice mindfulness of death? I gave a talk on, how one sees impermanence of everything. You have to see things are changing all the time. Seeing things changing all the time, you understand that death is one of these changes, one of these moments. Of course, people have fear of death. That is because of their attachment, clinging to their own body, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness. To say to give you a very gross example, you have property, children, relatives, friends, houses, and so forth and so many things are there. You are attached to them. And even if you say that I am not attached to them, you really are attached to them. if nothing else, you attach to your body. And therefore, death is very, very hard to accept. But if you see the changes of your body, inside and out, particularly inside changes, every time we breathe in and out, inside changes taking place. I mentioned it many times, the circulation of oxygen through our inhaling and exhaling and charging our cells with oxygen and depleting them of oxygen. And this function is going on all the time inside. That change is taking place all the time. When the cells reach a stage where it cannot absorb any more oxygen, then we die. And that happens very naturally. So it is the best way to meditate on death. Normally, people can think so and so died, so and so died, so and so died. Buddha died, Arahants died, my grandparents died, my so and so died, so and so died. Yesterday somebody died, today somebody died. I also will die. That is one way. And then come back to yourself and think, I have lived so many years and I may live a couple of more years, couple of more days, and so forth and so on. And then you reduce your length of life, and slowly, slowly, you will pass away. Now, of course, if you fall sick and become unconscious, then you don't know when you die. But anyway, sooner or later, from one cause or another, I mentioned yesterday, we can die any moment. And therefore, yesterday I mentioned we have to practice Dhamma, practice meditation, practice mindfulness, and wish to die with mindfulness. The death with mindfulness is the best way to die. Death with metta is the best way to die. And therefore, cultivate wholesome things. Knowing that we die, we want to die peacefully. That's how we practice metta, practice mindfulness of death. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is, when I was young, I experimented with drugs because I wanted to expand my consciousness and learn directly from the cosmos. For the record, it was a very foolish thing to do. But I want to know what you have to say about this practice because what you say will help me heal. So, what do you think about people using like things like psychedelics to try and expand their consciousness?
That you distort your mind and you are not in natural state. And anything artificial is not going to help in your meditation. Therefore, we strongly recommend people to stay with their natural, normal state of mind. No matter how difficult, how many type of difficulty they go through, they should not get involved in any kind of psychedelic drugs, because that distort your perception, distort your mind. What you understand at that time is not real. Uh, so you have to understand, practice meditation in a normal, real, natural state of mind. So I very strongly recommend people, strongly advise people not to take any kind of drug. Sometimes when you are sick, you have to take medicine. That's also kind of drug. That is prescription. And that doesn't distort your mind. It is only temporarily. It gives temporary relief to get rid of your ailment. But any psychedelic drug, I would not recommend. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is, how should we arouse energy if we are feeling lazy?
Ah, yes. That is how. That is why we have to think of the nature of this life. Now, you see, we must understand that it is not very easy to be born as human being. Although people think that since there are so many billions of people in the world, the becoming a human is something very easy, cheap. But there are so many obstacles for our birth. Once born with our good with our senses, five, six senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, and mentally and physically, we are in a normal state. That is very, very difficult to get, especially to have quiet time, quiet place, and becoming a healthy person is a gift, it's fortune, and therefore we should not waste it. If we waste it, then of course we are very foolish, and therefore we have to think like that. We have to think like that. Now I am in this situation, therefore I should not waste this life. There's a wonderful purpose in life. That purpose is to have a peace and liberate from suffering, get rid of from suffering, get rid of suffering, and therefore I must not be lazy. I must practice meditation, and as you keep doing it, you build up your enthusiasm, you build up your interest, because you see the results. When you see results, you continue to practice. The more you practice, better results you have, then you uh, will not be lazy. People are lazy because they don't know the benefit. So you keep practicing, even if you are sick, try to practice. Perhaps while you are practicing, you can recover quickly. If you are depressed when you are sick, your recovery may be very slow. Therefore, I would recommend people to urge themselves to do the practice in order to overcome their laziness. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is, can walking and eating meditation give equal result as sitting meditation?
Eating sitting meditation?
Yeah, can walking meditation, for example, give equal result as sitting meditation?
Yes, Buddha called these four postures as like four wheels of a vehicle. When you balance vehicle, when you do wheel balancing, you balance all the wheels to run the vehicle smoothly. That means each of them has equal weight, equal value. And therefore, walking meditation has the same effect as sitting meditation. In sitting meditation, what do? We see, especially in Vipassana, as I mentioned many times, we see impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness. While we are walking, these are more prominent, clear. Impermanent is very clear, suffering very clear, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness is very clear. For instance, when you move your feet, focusing your mind on your feet, you walk very slowly, and then you will see how the movement of your feet, movements are changing. When you are lifting, resting, bringing the foot forward, stopping, slowly bringing it down, touching the floor, resting, and lifting the other heel of the other foot, and so forth. And you do all these things very attentively, paying total attention to your movement. You see your entire body is cooperating with the movement. Your mind cooperates with the movement. Your feeling, your perception, your thoughts, your consciousness, all are acting, working together, cooperating with the movement of your foot. And then you gain very good insight into impermanence. And you know at the same time that your movements, you get tired. That is the unsatisfactoriness. And there is no way to control this. That is your selflessness. So impermanent, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness you can experience in walking meditation, in eating. And that is why in Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha mentioned being mindful in walking, moving, turning your head, bending, stretching, hands and legs, wearing your clothes, and answering call of nature. In all these activities, we become aware of impermanence. And therefore, walking, eating, and so forth can really have the same benefit that you have when you are doing sitting meditation. And I hope you understand this. And if you put them into practice, friends, as I often mention, listening to Dhamma talks, reading Dhamma books, having Dhamma discussions, all these are, okay for your practice. But you have to do it yourself. This is practical thing we must practice. Keep practicing. As much as you learn, as much as you know, as much instructions as you get, you keep practicing, put them into practice. Then you certainly will see the benefit. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. I don't see another question, but is it okay if I ask you another question about the jhana, about what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're in the first jhana, if I experience correctly, there is no actual thinking. There is just the initial application of thought and the sustained application of thought and the experience of the bliss. So there is no thinking to investigate anything. So does this mean to do the observation of impermanence, I have to shift my application of thought from the breath to what's really going on in the experience and look for the rise and fall?
Yes, you actually investigation, you in the what do you call factors of enlightenment, investigation and so forth, and then the sixth factor is samadhi, concentration factor of enlightenment. Now investigation begins earlier, then you gain concentration.
Yeah.
When you gain concentration, what you have investigated becomes a reality. You experience it. Previously, you investigate intellectually, you investigate uh, actively, then later when you come to concentration, that investigation becomes so real, you don't have to do anything, any investigation, because you are in the active, you are in the result state. And therefore, at that time, you don't do any investigation. There, vichara means sustaining, maintaining, not investigating. Maintaining means you don't lose your concentration, you don't let your hindrances come in. As soon as hindrances are all gone, at least temporarily, then your mind is in a steady position to experience impermanence and so forth. Mind is free from hindrances. Yes,
Thank you, Bhante.
I think Chaturi, our time seems to be up.
Yeah, we don't have any more questions anyway.
Yeah, we also don't have time for any more questions because you want to spend some time in meditation. Let me use our meditation, what you call recital, metta recital, and meditate. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, read that. Okay. Okay. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another, as a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child. Even so, towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here. not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures, one comes never again to birth in the womb. Okay, with this we meditate for at least for 25 minutes. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish, may I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering, may the fear-struck be free from fear, may the grieving be free from grief, so too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. May all those who are in hospitals suffering from various diseases taken care of by doctors, nurses, and hospital staff, may they all recover soon and return to normal life and practice Dhamma, meditation, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those doctors, nurses, hospital staff who are taking care of these people also find time to practice Dhamma, meditation, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who have lost their loved ones and grieving, may they be free from grief and find time to practice Dhamma, meditation, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in trouble spots, war zones, poverty-stricken, discrimination, also find time to understand the nature of life, nature of greed, hatred, and delusion, and practice Dhamma, practice meditation, and liberate themselves from samsara suffering. May all those who are in the northern direction, northeastern direction, eastern direction, southeastern direction, southern direction, southwestern direction, western direction, northwestern direction, up and down, all of them be well, happy, and peaceful. May all of them attain liberation. Thank you, friends. That is all we can do today. And see you next year.
Thank you,
Thank
Bhante.
you, Bhante.
Thank you, Chaturi.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Sadhu,
Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu.
Also,
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante. Thank you for your
also
teachings.
those who like to join our 3 o'clock Dhammapada talk may do so. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.